Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guest, and anyone who's ever been confused over what the right thing to eat and not eat is. I want to share with you the wisdom I learned from my grandmother, my Oma, in Germany. She worked on the farm from the age of 9 years on until the age of 90. She got married at 16. She had 3 children. She was married for 50 years. And she died in her sleep in her own bed. All her faculties still intact. The day she died, she had just been riding her bicycle to the neighbor's birthday party and back. She lives for me with deep gratitude as a woman of inspiration and power and someone to learn from. When I was little, my grandma would basically summarize everything it took me 2 decades to learn in a simple statement like this. When it comes to health and longevity, remember these words. She would say, eat, eat. If you don't eat, you don't poop. If you don't poop, you die. She was very passionate about it. And you would think something basic as this would be common sense. Do you have any idea how many people are struggling with food intake and elimination? It is one of the #1 health challenges. Most people live by starving themselves to control their weight. You've heard of the Mediterranean diet? The good oils and all that. Have you heard of the Italian pasta diet? You might have. It starts like this. You walk past the bakery, you walk past the candy store, you walk past the ice cream store, you walk past the fridge and the table, and you lose weight. Most people do that. They just cut down on food. They just eat less, and then they binge. And it puts the body into starvation, and the body holds on to every little single calorie. You just have to look at food, and you gain it. Grandma knew best. Food in, food out. Very basic. She made food fun. I remember her coming over to babysit me and my little brother, who was about 2.5 years old. And she brought us little chocolates wrapped in that aluminum foil. And my baby brother, 2.5, was playing with his little chocolate car on the floor. And then it would hit the corner of the table and some of the foil peeled off. And he looked at that brown stuff underneath. He smelled it and he tasted it. It tasted good. He ate the whole thing. And then he started to cry. Oh, my car's gone. So Grandma said, no, it's not really gone. It's in your tummy. You just sit on the potty and it'll come out in no time. Sure enough, my brother was enrolled. He sat on the potty. He was waiting for that toy car to come out. And in a little moment, he shrieked, Grandma! It's coming, I heard it honk. Grandma knew how to make food fun. Not only did Grandma know the basics about nutrition and how to make food fun and educational, she also knew how to use the basic principles of eating food in season. Every year, for my birthday in the summer, my grandma would give me the very same birthday gift, without a miss. And it was a triple layer strawberry whipped cream cake. It was the sweetest, most refreshing thing. Of course, I had to share it with the entire family, my 6 brothers and sisters and parents. But it reduced stress for my mother because she didn't have to bake the cake. And it was so sweet because in the summer, strawberries are just the most delicious thing. What is strawberry shortcake here is triple layer, Grandma's homemade strawberry cake in Germany. With all these creams and sauces, you have to watch to not gain too much weight. My grandmother lived in the country all her life, did the very basic thing of growing her own food, knew to eat food in the season, and the power of sharing. We always shared food. We had so much fun around the table sharing stories. It was just the most wonderful memories I have about childhood. when it comes to remembering the importance of health and nutrition, Grandma never really went anywhere beyond a 100-kilometer radius in Germany, but she gave the world to me. When I went to Canada at age 21, my grandma was heartbroken, and she would hug me and say, "I don't know if I'm ever going to see you again." And it was just really hard to leave Grandma behind, and she would have a photo of me on the night table and kiss my picture goodnight every evening, keeping me in her heart. That nutrition of vitamin L, that love bond, nourished me across the ocean. A very empowering ingredient that Grandma taught me. One of the summarization I'd like to leave you with from what Grandma taught me, because she knew best, not only to keep food regular, coming in, going out, make food fun and educational, and share the food that's in season. And you won't die of the #1 cause of death in Canada, which is heart disease. Remember that in Japan they eat very little fat and they have less heart disease than in Canada. In Mexico they eat a lot of fat and they have less heart attacks than in Canada. The Chinese eat very little red wine, drink very little red wine, and they have less heart attack than Canadians. And the Germans, the Italians drink lots of red wine and they have less than Canadian heart attacks. And the Germans, they love their beer, they love their sausage, they love their fats, and they have less than Canadian heart attacks. So what is the mystery of how to live a life of longevity? Apparently, it is speaking English that kills you.